Shots don't get much better than that, do they? How gorgeous. Mount Panorama. There are 40 private residences all around this precinct. There's wineries, restaurants, gun, car and motorcycle clubs. There's some amazing accommodation. We're about 200 kilometres northwest of Sydney on the Central Tablelands in New South Wales.
Brodie Kostecki's on a good lap here. He's on for a high 4 if he keeps this up. Now, the bottom of the track, the last segment of this track has been the most difficult for Brodie. We'll just give you a number. He's done the fastest cumulative so far in this session, and he does do a 4.7. So that's not a bad marker for Brodie Kostecki to the top of the timesheet.
Now, what's going on up here at the Shell V-Power Racing team?
Ride height change being done at the front. Race control have told car 4 to come directly back to pit lane because the door handle was off that door when it left. So we saw that pit stop. There's the door handle. Now the reason that's the case is because obviously for safety, if you've crashed and you park somewhere and the medical intervention group or whatever it was, think maybe on fire or whatever the circumstance might be, you need to be able to open that door from the outside. So Motorsport Australia Race Control have said, please bring that car back in.
Don't mention the war, because here last year...
Mechanical black flag, car 4, mechanical black flag for car 4.
Off the back of a stellar international motor racing career.
Yeah, he was an extraordinary racing driver. In his heyday, was one of the world's best drivers. He drove in Formula 1. He drove in sports car racing, drove for the factory Ferrari team in sports car racing in their heyday. And Tim Schenken, thank you so much for all of the effort and the services you've provided Australian motorsport, and will continue with Motorsport Australia. And Shane's done a 5 dead.
Oh, he's gone off.
Gone off.
Yeah, I heard the tyres squealing in the background and it just disconnected from the apex down there in the left-hander at the chase. So it didn't quite get there. So personal best in sectors 1 and 2. And Ludo just calls him in off that lap. Go back to Griffin's Bend, turn 2, and just have a look. And that's again about as close as you dare. The Will Brown replay that we saw earlier in the game was spookier than that. But what happens is when the car goes down the back side of the curbing, it just slides over the top of it and down the other side. And exaggerated by the fact that you need to get back on the gas pretty hard because it's a very steep climb up that part of the hill. And there's not a huge amount of wind out there. Certainly not a breeze that's going to disturb the cars too much. So I'm starting to think along the lines that I reckon late this afternoon and tomorrow you're going to see some fireworks in terms of lap speed.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is looking like a low 4. This is a really nice number by Van Gisbergen. He does a 4.42. His cumulative numbers coming out of Forest Elbow suggest it's a low 4 or a high 3. Remember yesterday he was 0.07 away from the fastest. He does a 4.18. Finishing this lap off with the brake cycling, with the thermal change and the rear locking for the final corner. Can he get it in there nicely? He does. He drives it off there really well. This is going to be very close. Oh my God, very close, all right. 4.18 plays 4.19.
Well done. What about this one from Will as a response? He jumps up 9 spots into 5th.
There's a lot of others that are a long way from what that number was yesterday.
And that'll be as a result of changes in the conditions, and each car's got its own personality when it comes to dealing with that. Confirmation of our session results. That was practice number 6, the final run before the top 10 shootout. 1/100th of a second was all it took to separate Chaz Mostert and Shane Van Gisbergen. Brodie Kostecki next, then Di Pasquale, Brown, Waters, LeBrock, Davison, Percat and Slade, our top 10. Another fine performance from the team Sydney entry, Fabian Coulthard, Courtney, Fullwood, Caruso, Fiore. These are the drivers that are in the car or were in the car most recently. Whincup, Pye, Jacobson, Reynolds and Jones. And then Russell Ingall 21st. Jake Kostecki, Matt Campbell, who had the difficulty from the previous session, but they did get him out with about 10 minutes to run, which was very important. Then Smith and Goddard.